Hi English 12, it's Mrs. Sopiarz-Rianda. I hope this video finds you well and that you took advantage of the late work due date, which was on the 8th of February, this past Sunday, yesterday. You could have received up to 85% credit for missing work except for discussion from Unit 5. At this point, Unit 5 is closed, so you will, it's not disappeared. I just put it away in a folder on the bottom of the materials page, but it is closed. So this is the last opportunity for you to submit late work for up to 85% credit from that unit. Later on this semester, I will give you opportunities to submit late work, but not for 85%, that's for sure. So moving on to Unit 6. Session 2 is due by February 15th, Sunday, before midnight. Now, here's the thing. We have a couple of days off coming up here. So, even though we have this Friday and the following Monday off, so we have a 4-day weekend, the work from Session 2 and Session 3 will reflect that day off. However, I'm still going to leave the due date for Sunday because I want to give you those extra Friday, Saturday, Sunday to work like usual. But all the work that is in this session, Session 2, you will be able to finish from Monday through Thursday this week. But again, it's due on the 15th by Sunday before midnight. Click on the session. Always, always, always watch this video first and start on the session plan and navigate through each and every session by clicking next in the upper right hand corner. If you skip around in sessions, especially in this unit and the last unit, I'm sure you've noticed, you'll be lost because so many of these assignments build on each other. And that's exactly the case in this session as well. So be sure that you click through these sessions slide by slide because that's how I design them. And so I'm assuming that you are clicking next in the upper right hand corner, and that's how all the information is being delivered to you. So be sure that that's how you're navigating through this session and all the sessions with Jeffco Virtual. So this week we're going to be doing a lot of research. This week is pretty much the bulk of your research for your research project. Last week you selected your topic from the Times Magazine 100 Most Influential People of the 20th Century. It was a first come, first serve, so no one has the same topic. So that is what you will be researching, continuing your research on this week. So this week, as always, at 12 o'clock on Wednesday, if you want to attend my quote-unquote office hours, come on by. It's just a question and answer. It's just like you walking into my classroom to ask me a question. There's no scheduled or presentation. Parent-teacher conferences are this week. I'll be hosting mine from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday. So you can have your parent or your guardian just copy and paste that link into their web browser and it will pop them into my virtual parent-teacher conference. If you want to do a face-to-face parent-teacher conference, come on by to Glennon Heights Elementary School on Wednesday the 19th from 5:30 to 8:30. And we can chat there as well. Hint, hint, you will get extra credit for attending any virtual or face-to-face parent-teacher conferences, so be aware of that. And as I mentioned earlier, Friday is a day off, and so is Monday. So all the work in Session 3 Session 3 will begin on Tuesday, so the next session will begin on Tuesday, but I will make it available to you early for those of you that want to work ahead. So here are our assignments this week. As you can tell, we are doing our research this week. So today, watch this video, start working on your secondary notes, finding your secondary notes, taking notes, review information on bias, and look at your research as you are finishing up your secondary note taking on information that is bias and if you need to eliminate anything. Start doing your primary research, your research on your primary sources on Wednesday. Take some notes, and Thursday finish that up and work on narrowing your topic. So by the end of this session, you will have 2 more sets of notes on secondary sources and 2 notes on primary sources. So by the end of session 2, you have a total of 5 notes on primary and secondary sources. Okay, so here are our essential questions that are guiding us this week. And I want to review this information for your additional secondary sources. So again, last week you submitted your first secondary source, notes on that. This week you're going to continue that research process by finding 2 additional secondary sources for your paper. Your goal is to have 2 more sources for your paper to use this week. At least one of those sources should not be an encyclopedia. So try using news archives such as Google News or Times Magazine to find articles about your person and that answer your research questions that you generated in the last session. So check out this website down here too to help refine your search on finding target materials. It's super helpful. The best way to do a Google search is not simply by writing your person's name into Google, Anne Frank. That's it. Okay, clicking here will really help you define or refine your hunt for secondary sources. Okay, so once you find 2 secondary sources, you'll need to write detailed, specific notes using one of the methods that we used in Unit 5, outline, sentence method, Webb, or Cornell notes. And then you'll be submitting 2 separate notes on 2 secondary sources into the Dropbox on the next page. Okay, so once you have researched all of your secondary sources, remember now you should have 3, you're going to be looking at that research that you have done so far, and you're going to be looking at bias. So be sure to review all of this information for looking for bias in your resources, and think about your sources and identify any possible bias. And if there are any, you might want to consider eliminating that source. Then you're going to also go on to your primary sources. So now that you have your secondary sources, you're going to be doing your primary sources. Be sure to watch this video on how to use Google Advanced Search and begin looking for 2 primary sources. Remember, a primary source is one that has not been filtered or written about by a writer. So in this case, it should be something written by the person you're studying, or it can be a video of the person, it can be a song by the person. Again, this is something that your person has written or televised or something like that. Okay, so here are some keywords for the text you can be looking for, and again, watch that tutorial to help you look for primary sources. And another really good source, a database to look for academic research, is Google Scholar. So once you find those primary sources, again, take notes using one of the note-taking methods from Unit 5 and submit them here into the Dropbox. Okay, so now, you've got all of your research information. You've got detailed notes, you've got the sources. So now it's time to think about narrowing down your topic. You've got a lot of great information, which can be kind of overwhelming. So now it's time to narrow it down. And for this assignment, it's critical for you to plan on writing about a specific time period or a specific area in their life. So you should narrow down the topic to one area, maybe between 1 to 5 years of your person's life that hugely influence the world. So don't write from start to finish of a person's life. That could be about 500 pages. You have to narrow down your topic to a specific time period. Okay, so be sure now that you have all your information that you're focusing and narrowing your topic and your time frame, because this paper that you're going to start writing is going to be between 4 to 5 pages long. So there's no way that you can write about an entire life in 4 to 5 pages, right? You're going to be narrowing your focus and your topic. Okay, so think about that this week as well. And then, phew, you've worked really hard this week on your research, narrowing down your topic, plus you've been looking critically at your resources for bias. So next week we're going to be working on some patterns and trends that you see in your research, as well as drawing some conclusions. So if you have any questions this week, please contact me. I'm happy to help, especially for primary sources. And be sure to really read through that information as far as how to refine your Google searches. Thanks.